She's still laughing.
That's so funny. Welcome to 5 Lemons Left. We're the real stuff, the lemons making lemonade. So pucker up, because we're going to be discussing our life's lessons and the nitty-gritty details of our spiritual journeys.
Hey y'all, I'm Amanda.
And I'm Drusilla.
I'm Melissa.
Hello, this is Morgan.
And I'm Penny. Welcome to our podcast today.
I love starting this recording with laughter. Yay. Yay. No matter what's going on in our lives, there's room for a chuckle. There is. So today we are talking about being a martyr and resurrection, what that means. So for me, something that came to me this week is like you can't have that resurrection energy until you actually get off the cross. So that's what we're bringing today, is how we hold other people on the cross and how we, hold that in ourselves. And then once we let that go and allow that energy, that freedom, how we allow that resurrection energy to manifest in our lives. Yeah. So,
Can I ask, was there a specific reason why you were thinking about that this week?
yeah, for one, Easter is coming up, so it's on my mind. And I was just thinking about like how that applies in my life. So that's why I was thinking about it. And also it just, I was thinking about the different ways that I like hold myself down or woe is me type of thing. And then I was like, wow, like once that I'm able to let that go is when the miracles happen. Yeah. So I can start with a story.
Yeah.
Because I've been thinking about it. So I'll just kick it off with my story.
Let's hear it.
Well, yeah.
We love stories.
I know.
We do.
These are the best. So it really came to fruition a couple of weeks ago. I did a practice seminar for restaurant workers, and it's about really like looking at ourselves, seeing, what we project out into the world and how to let that go. I call it spiritual speed dating. And, that's what I'm teaching for restaurant workers. And before that, I was really nervous because I had never done it before. And I didn't, like I said, I'd never done it before. And I just asked a small group of friends to walk it through with me. And I was really, really nervous, and I was really, moving up to it. And the morning came, and people started canceling. Say that 3 times. What is that word? So I had an opportunity right there. I could have chosen to say, oh my God, I knew this person wasn't going to show up, right? They're not reliable. I knew that, that I wasn't ready to do this. Like those types of thoughts, and for me, that was me hanging myself on the cross. That was me being a martyr, and it was just that victim mentality and really being hard on myself. And when that didn't feel comfortable, I started looking at what the other people were doing wrong and projecting that onto them. So for me, that was really an instance of me being a martyr. Woe is me. life is hard, this isn't going to work out. I should have known that it was going to work out. And then, and also in that, I started recognizing that, no, that's not the truth. That is not the truth. So, even if everybody started canceling on me, that it would, that if nobody showed up, that doesn't mean that I'm a failure. And it doesn't mean that they're a failure. It doesn't mean anything. It's just, this is what is presenting to me. And so my getting off the cross experience was allowing, like, not assigning guilt or blame or shame, just like writing out my emotions. And when I thought about it, was like, nope, that's not who I am. Nope, that's not who they are. This is, and over again, I'm doubling down. Like, this is unfolding exactly the way it's supposed to. This is unfolding exactly the way it's supposed to. So I get there, and there was, I did it at a restaurant where I worked at, Bear Creek, and they're closed on a Monday. So, but there's people there doing stuff. So I talked to a kitchen guy, and I was able to have a conversation with him, and like real conversation, like, these are my fears coming up. And he got to talk a little bit about things that were coming up for him. And again, at no point, like, again, it was this, like, making sure that I was not, blame, shame. And I did have one person come, and she was like 10 minutes late, which is her jam, right? Usually people are consistent. So she's just 10 minutes late all the time. That's who this person is. And it was like the best thing possible. Her and I went through it together, and it was one-on-one interaction. And when I got done, I'm like, yeah, this really was the highest and best. This whole thing was for the highest and best. It was perfectly planned for my benefit, for the benefit of all who eventually will take part in the workshop on how to have fun and make more money, spiritual speed dating. So it's all, and to me, that is everyday resurrection energy. So that is what I have been thinking about. Yeah.
And how great for her.
Yeah.
I mean, like a one-on-one session.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And she gave me great feedback. We were able just to pause, and I took notes, and it was just the perfect way.
Yeah.
So that's my getting off the cross experience.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I love
amazing, Amanda.
I love how you take things in, and you are so good at not reacting. I mean, you have feelings, but you don't like storm out of the room, or, even you and I were just talking earlier, and you just held everything I had to say without any kind of reaction. And it was really helpful. Like, it's just so nice that that's how you do life. And it's so great to be here with you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Isn't that what we're all learning, is that practice of non-judgment?
Yeah.
Right? That's what it is. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So does anybody else have a story, now that I've like started it off with an example? Does anybody else have a story they can tell?
Oh no, I've never been a martyr, so I don't even know why I should be on this call. No.
Liar. That's so funny.
Liar.
That's friends for you.
Liar. I can share a story. I realize I've had some realizations the past couple of weeks. My husband drank for most of our marriage, most of our relationship, and he's been alcohol free for a year and a half now. And so during that time when he was drinking, my constant work was to come back over and over again to seeing him in his perfection and his holiness and his innocence, not regurgitating the story over and over again that he's an alcoholic, he has a problem, he needs fixing, he needs to change. So just constantly that thought appearing and constantly redirecting to the true thought. And it's so, I'll say basic, but I'm realizing that my work there is the same. Like it is still the same, to come back over and over again, to see him as whole, perfect, and complete, see him as innocent, because, you know, now the ego just has replaced those old stories with new stories. Like, oh, he's too moody. Oh, he shouldn't be so reactive. Oh, he shouldn't be so negative and so complainy all the time, and yada, yada, yada. And so it's like, well, there's no difference. I'm still telling a story over and over again of what I don't want to experience, rather than practicing with that discipline and that diligence that I practiced before, of coming back to seeing him as the truth and of who he is. But then to take it a step further, I realized also that I have a tendency to martyr myself, and like, let's say that he does something boneheaded, as we all do from time to time, then and I handle it with love and compassion, and then a day or two later I do something boneheaded and he reacts poorly. I'm like using a judgy word there. Then my go-to is to say, you remember how I was so gracious when you yada, 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 and I didn't like try to shame you and punish you, but then I'm trying to shame him in that moment while I'm saying that. So it's funny. I realize that that's not helpful to either one of us. It's just gonna continue to create more of that same situation. And it's also not loving. I'm not loving him unconditionally. I'm not accepting him exactly as he is. I'm putting conditions on it, and like, he needs to change. He needs to react the way that I react. He needs to not have these angry outbursts. He needs to not be so moody. And that's just not loving. I mean, if you think about children, how they have temper tantrums and mood swings and stuff, like it, I just want to love him no matter how he reacts. He doesn't have to react the way that I would prefer that he reacts. And I feel like if I can move into that state of loving acceptance of exactly how he's choosing to show up, then that will make room for the miracle. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
So that's what I've been working with.
Acceptance is your answer to everything today.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
I love the
Thank you.
example of the baby throwing a tantrum, because I had that exact thing happen. I was watching my grandbaby last week, and she loves getting in the shower. So I wanted to put her in the shower, but her hair was, her mom had fixed her hair so pretty. Y'all, it was just so pretty. And so I had to convince her to put a shower cap on. She doesn't like the shower cap, right? So she kept jerking it off, wanting to run into the shower. And I kept trying to explain to her that she couldn't get in the shower. So she just laid out on the floor and started screaming and hollering. And in that instant, I thought about it exactly as you did, Morgan. Like, oh my God, this is exactly how we act. When we want exactly what we want, when we want it, doesn't matter if we don't get it at, everything exactly like we wanted. We're just gonna throw fits, and, the whole martyrdom thing comes up time. So I love that example. And I do my husband Patrick the same way in terms of I feel like it is a part of my spiritual growth. I'm aware of it within myself. So then I try to apply it to everybody else. And that is exactly what you described. And I recognize that in myself a lot. And so thank you for bringing that up because I didn't look at it that way before. I knew it was something that I was doing and I've been making myself more aware of it, but I didn't quite catch it in the way you did, Morgan. So thank you for sharing that.
So
Well,
let
and
me-
I just go ahead, Amanda.
I was going to ask Morgan and Drusilla a question about, so what do you think the renewal, like the resurrection energy, that rebirth? So like by letting go of that, what is that energy? What do you get from it?
You go
wanna
ahead, Drusilla.
Morgan? Okay. So I can specifically remember one occasion where I did that exact thing with my husband using, well, when I was upset with you the other day, we talked about it. You didn't agree with me. I didn't walk around the house mad for 2 days. You know, I knew how to, so that was the example. But I remember one instant where I was getting ready to say that. We were in the middle of a discussion and I didn't use it. And I remember specifically explaining the story to Jennifer that it was so holy. I instantly saw him. It was just like a person I never saw before. And it really was like this whole perfect, complete person. And it was a feeling that I never felt before. And it was just, all I can explain is that it was just definitely a holy instant. And so it's a point of reference for me, you know, that is how it should feel and how it should be all the time. So, yeah, I don't know if it's the same as what you described, Amanda, but that's what it felt like for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I get everybody's experience would be just a little bit different depending on what's going
Mhm.
on with them. Yeah.
Oh,
That's beautiful, Drusilla. Thank you. Yeah, I think for me, it'll be my practice is to just stop resisting his moods and his anger. Stop being in resistance. Because what I do is I just shut down. I go into freeze mode. Like I just um I think that's been part of my spiritual process because it's like that feels better than engaging and yelling back with him, getting swept up in the frenzy with him. But I think that what has been a necessary and helpful part of my spiritual growth.
Yeah.
And I think there is room for more growth. And so I think that my aspiration is when him or anyone gets angry and things start to get escalated or intense, to move into loving acceptance and non-resistance of exactly what's happening. And then I think I'm not also shutting down that divine inspiration, and I can more easily tap into how I can be truly helpful, how I can be the most loving, beneficial presence in that moment. Because I'm not tapped into that when I'm shut down. I
Right.
just don't know what to say or what to do, and I do nothing. And so I think if I can be consciously loving and accepting and non-judgmental of however someone is processing a situation, then I can be more open to allow spirit to navigate the way through. I don't, does that
Well, and
answer the question?
it's remembering that everybody's our salvation, right?
Mhm.
They're our salvation. They're going to help us get off the cross too,
Yeah.
right?
I
Yeah.
like that. Mhm.
Yeah. And when people sense, even if it's unconsciously, they sense when they're being judged. And I know my husband senses. Um,
Mhm.
And that's when he turns to me and directs his anger at me. So I know that if I can hold that space of non-judgment, even if I'm not doing anything differently, I'm not saying anything differently, just the fact that I'm holding a different vibration of non-judgment will open the door for a different outcome.
Yes, I
Mhm.
love that.
Do
I,
too.
I was just thinking, it was just coming to me about that day for that particular instance. It was my vibration. So, I was just thinking about when I haven't been able to respond that way, it's been because I was vibrationally not prepared, meaning our goal as spiritual teachers and students should be to always be at a vibrational level where we are in control, and that's the difference between the times that I get it right and the times that I don't. So, yeah, so the goal, and that is, of course, the goal is to seek the face of God every moment of every day, And so, yeah, I thought back to that situation and I was so in a vibrational space that nothing could touch me. And it feels different when you're in that space. It can't touch you. I think we've all been in that space before. So, yeah, just wanted to say that.
Yeah. Let's hear from Penny or Melissa.
Okay, I love all that. I wrote vibrationally prepared on here. That is amazing. That is amazing. And gosh, I've done the same thing. I work and live with my husband, and sometimes talk about him being my salvation. Uh, I get a lot of practice. Yeah, so and I do the same thing as you. I just really try to, I engage, and when I engage, it just escalates and goes nowhere. And I used to say there's there's a parenting program called shit.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a bad name for a parenting program.
Got it. Because my kids are old now, so I don't remember it. But anyways, there's it's they would say, duct tape parenting. Like don't engage. Let them do their thing and reel out and have the little fit on the floor of the shower because they can't wear the shower cap, and explain you can't wear the shower cap. So your choices are we can turn the shower off, or we can go for a walk. Or you can put the shower cap on and get in the shower. But so it's like this de-escalation thing. So my instructor would call it duct tape parenting. So I feel like I took that on. I was like duct tape in relationships, like when I want to correct my husband or, do it my way. If I can remember duct tape, just put it over my mouth. So I do not have an opinion about what he's doing. Things work better for us. Love and Logic is the parenting program.
I'm familiar with
nice.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, pardon?
It reminds me of Montessori. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yes. No, that's okay. Yeah. So that's always been really, really, really good for us. And like I was saying, I think acceptance, like if I can just accept this is who he is and what he's doing, and I don't have to change it, then I will be vibrationally prepared. And I will, like Morgan, I had never thought of, like, I've always thought of doing it, having that like acceptance so I don't escalate the situation. I haven't thought of, I know this sounds stupid, but I haven't thought of doing that so that I am in a holy place so I am not on the cross and I can't get my download from
Mhm.
spirit, or I can't get my
Right.
heart full of love, right?
Yes.
So I've never thought of it that way. And so like for me, that's a different perspective, a different way of doing it for a different reason.
Mhm.
Like I'm not playing checkers with him, like your move, my move. I'm gonna stay, I need to stay in my lane so that I can stay attached to spirit. So I love that. Thank you for that. That was awesome. Yeah, and I think that one thing about the, get off the cross thing is that for me, I stayed on the cross bitching about it, bitching that I was on the cross, of the victim and this and that, but it was still serving me somehow. And like if I think about the Jesus story, the cross served him, right? The
Good.
whole crucifixion served his story to his people. And I, like being a suffering and being a victim has served me. And when it doesn't serve me anymore, I don't do it. So when I'm attached to doing that, I have to figure out what is it that is filling up in me. And it's usually a worthiness thing. It's usually I've set it up so that some, poor me, and then someone will see how hard I work and how much I take care of, and everyone will love me and appreciate me more. So yeah, it's kind of a thing I'm stepping down from and away from, and it definitely feels good not to do it. So I guess that would be my story.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys are focusing on your husbands. I'm still trying to get myself in order. So you guys have already got it going. I'm still working on me. So because I know that the relationship that I have with myself will be reflected on the relationship I have with others. And so I had a big awakening for myself this week. And I love this little one, bring on the breakthroughs, right? So the breakthrough that I had is that I really got, and I've been talking about this for years, decades, probably, how hard I am on myself. And so like you were saying, Melissa, I put myself on the cross and I crucify myself all the time. Like I am not, oh my God, I didn't do it 100% perfect. It's black or white thinking, all or nothing. And so because of that, screw it. I'm useless. I might as well just die here because I'm not good enough, all that stuff, all that goes on in my head. And so with the help of my coach, I really got it that life is a process. And exactly as it is right now is exactly the way it's supposed to be. And it's perfect right as it is right now. And it can be like 80% of what I thought it should be. And so I'm starting to celebrate that 80% now versus thinking, oh my God, I did it 20% bad. So that's it. It's all bad. And so I'm really working at getting out of that all or nothing thinking, and also reminding myself, and we've heard it said over and over again in our masterful living classes, that there is nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong right now. Like Amanda, you had one student show up for your class. There was nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Nothing at all.
Mhm.
And so I wrote these little sticky notes with my positive affirmations, like there's nothing wrong here. I'm doing the best I can, and that's enough. Everything is just an opportunity to course correct. Life is a process. I don't need to be perfect. Every second I get a second chance, and this second is now. And so, so that's what I had going on for me this week, and it's been really powerful. And so that's how I'm going to continue to work my process to have my resurrection and get off the cross. Yeah.
So
I hope that applies to this whole conversation, but that's what's going on with me.
it does. Yeah. So what does, when you finally let that go, what is that resurrection energy for you? what, like
Freedom.
freedom.
That
Yeah.
is freedom. I can love and accept myself, even if I ate a chocolate bar. I
Mhm.
can love and accept myself, even if I stayed up till 11 o'clock and I really need to be in bed by 10. I can love and accept myself, even though I lost it with my husband.
Mhm.
And I'm still working on that. I'm perfect just as I am.
Mhm.
And if I want to course correct, I can choose to do that. You hear that the navigation systems, as soon as you can, please make a legal U-turn to get back on course. And so that's what I'm working on, is making those legal U-turns, getting back on course. Yeah, because there's nothing wrong. Nothing wrong.
Mhm. Yeah.
As Abraham would say, you never get it wrong and you never get it done.
Yeah.
I might not have said that the way that they say it, but
Oh my
close enough.
goodness.
Sounded
Mm.
perfect, Morgan.
So let me ask the group this then. So, like for us, accepting, like, looking at where we're holding ourselves as a martyr, as a victim, as like trying to get attention, right? So everybody will say, "Oh my goodness, look how hard you work. Don't you sacrifice a lot for blah, blah, blah," right? Yeah.
Mhm.
So as we let that go, and as we just allow that Christ energy, that risen Christ energy in our lives, how does that free those around us? Not to talk about anything heavy.
It's a big one, Amanda.
Mm.
Well, I feel lighter. I feel that the whole situation is lighter,
Mhm.
not as heavy. I mean, I can feel very heavy
Yeah.
with all this stuff. And then when I lighten up myself, like the vibration we've been talking about, when I get my vibration into those higher levels, it's just
Mhm.
lighter and I just you know,
Yeah,
I don't know how to put in words.
Mhm.
yeah. And also I think the benefit that it brings to others and the how and the effects, none of that's really our business or our concern, like to a certain degree. But I also, to Penny's point, I think that our goal is, so if critical mass is playing a part and we want to be that 51% predominant energy, so we're bringing people to meet us where we are and getting sucked into where they are, especially if where they are is lower. If where they are is higher, then suck me up with you.
Right now, please. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a good point, Morgan.
Yeah, and it's so funny. The point is, like, we're talking about resurrection. So for me, is an up type of energy, right? You just,
Mhm.
when I think resurrection, I think up. So your example is amazing, right?
Mhm.
To raise our vibration, to make it
Yes.
easier for those around us to have a raised vibration. Yeah, well
What
said.
was the word that Drusilla used in the beginning? Melissa, you wrote it down.
Vibrationally prepared.
Yeah. So let's be vibrationally prepared to be in that
yeah.
higher level.
That's what Jesus was doing. He was just walking
Mhm.
around, sucking people up to his vibrational level,
Mhm.
you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
I love it.
And I'm being like the mother A type, go, go, go person. Like literally, if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. In my
Wow. So all the more important, huh, Melissa?
yeah. And I, that's a lot of control.
Mhm.
That's a lot. And I'm the only female, so that may be something, but yeah, I think I have a lot of influence here in my house, and I want my children to have a beautiful life, and I want to be a part of that. So I want to be vibrationally prepared and uplifted for myself and for them, and not let my stuff run all over them or my husband.
And so it is.
Yes, me too.
Yes.
Beautiful.
So you guys, we have a couple of minutes left. Any final thoughts?
So what happened with your granddaughter, Drusilla? Did you get the shower cap on or not? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
I did. So what I did was, while she was on the floor kicking and screaming, he went and put my shower cap on to demonstrate to her, that what it's for. I mean, she really didn't get it, but it was okay because I had one on, and it must have been a reason for it, I guess, in her mind. So yeah, so then I picked her up and we just walked right into the shower.
Oh my God. Cute.
Yes.
So, Penny, I thought of an idea for you.
Okay.
You need another Instagram page called Penny's Post-it, where you just share your little inspirational Post-it note.
I
I love that idea.
Penny's Post-it. Yeah. I always thought like Penny's points to ponder. What?
I said I would check you out every day to see what your like inspirational quote is.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Thank you for that suggestion, Morgan. Maybe it'll become a reality one day.
Yay. Ask and you shall receive. Oh, can I share a quick story before we sign off?
Yeah.
A lot of people around here hitchhike to get where they're going because they maybe are vacationing or they're living here without a car. And I've never picked someone up, but I keep thinking like I'm going to start picking people up if it feels inspired. Well, today on my way to this training thing, I was driving by myself and a girl was on the side of the road hitchhiking. And I was like, I feel safe to pick up a girl while I'm by myself. So I swooped over and picked her up. And she was going to the same exact place that I was going to the same training. Yes. It was like I
Nice.
just thought that was so funny. The first time I'm inspired to pick someone up and it was like a divine appointment. I thought that was so funny.
Oh, that's so cool.
You were vibrationally prepared.
Yes.
I was,
Yeah.
and she
Very
was
much.
too. Yeah, she
Great
manifested the
story.
perfect ride.
And you took inspired action too. That's that's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it.
I
You guys,
love
we're
it.
amazing.
I love it.
We are. I will receive that.
Yes, me too. Way to claim it, Penny.
Yeah.
So can I read this from the course to close us out?
Yeah.
Okay. Let no dark sign of crucifixion intervene between the journey and its purpose, between the acceptance of the truth and its expression. This week, we celebrate life, not death, and we honor the perfect purity of the Son of God and not his sin. Offer your brother the gift of lilies, not the crown of thorns, the gift of love and not the gift of fear. We cannot be united in crucifixion and in death.
Where's that at in the course, Morgan?
I don't know if I have it. Maybe I do have it pulled up. It's in chapter 20, section 1 or 2. Both section 1 and 2 are about Easter week. So.
Well, maybe you can put it in the notes for the podcast. That was terrific. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes, it was.
Perfect.
That was a great wrap up for everything we all talked about. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Morgan, do you want to do any announcements before we close?
Let's see. Check out our website. That's where you can find links to all of the different places you can listen to our podcast. Our website is 5lemonslaughing.com and 5 is spelled out. And we're now on Apple Podcasts. Been a long time coming. Melissa got that sorted for us. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So like us, follow us, share it with your friends. Consider leaving a review just to help us get found by more people. And thank you for listening to us week after week. We love you.
Love you.
Love you. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
you.